Yes, people, how are we all doing? Welcome on back to the channel for the first match reaction of the season, the first match review of the season. Liverpool 0, Forest 1. Couldn't have picked a much better one to start off with, could I? I've seen in the last 24 hours a lot of overreaction is the term I'm going to use. A lot of overreaction regarding the result yesterday and what happened and the reaction that's going to cause. Yesterday was a bad day at the office. Yesterday really was a poor performance. But it's not the end of the world in that sense. And you know, some of the stuff I've seen people saying, some stuff that people have tried to push on and stuff, it's just, I feel like it's massively over the top. And we'll get into it. Don't we know there are some fair criticisms to have from that game yesterday. 100% there is. But the idea that, you know, we've got to do this now and that, and Slot's been found out, and he's this and he's that, and no, chill. It is one game. And when you look into the game, if your individuals perform better, you come out there with a win like you've had in all the other ones. So, before we properly get into this, if you're new and you're not already, make sure to hit that like button, hitting that subscribe button, you turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more content. Where to start? I think the place to start, the guy I've seen is getting the most stick today is Soberslide. And Soberslide deserves a lot of stick. He had a really poor game. Really poor game, all things considered. But there was three people who really cost us. And those three were the entire right-hand side of Trent at right back, Salah at right wing, and Soberslide at the 10 or the right central midfield, whatever you want to say, type thing. They all let us down. I mean, I'm just pulling up the tactics board so I can just run through real quick with you. I'll chuck the names on in a second. But our problem yesterday wasn't a case of we were played off the park or this, that, or the other. Our problem yesterday was the guys who were getting the ball in the dangerous areas were lacked the end product. Ultimately, the end product yesterday from so many key players was so poor that we only had like 8 or 9 shots in the game, because every single time we were getting into dangerous positions, they were giving the ball away. I mean, yeah, this is how we set up, basically. This is how I saw the game. That was quite often that, to be fair, with how they were defending, with just Chris Wood up on his own there. That's the keeper. There was 2 big problems that I had with the setup that we played yesterday. One is down to this man, Kanate. I think if you've watched me on Hassam's channel, you'll know my thoughts on how we should be using the centre backs at the minute and the rotations that they should be getting. I felt yesterday was a game where Quansah and what he gives you in terms of passing range and quality of long ball and mainly the ability to play it consistently through the lines into the final third. That's what we really needed yesterday. So So what would end up happening? You'd have Salah there, Trent would be in there, McAllister would be there, Jota would be up on that last line, Diaz would be about there, Szoboszlai would either be there or there, which isn't really the ideal on either. He should be there, but Szoboszlai would be about there. Gravenberch would be the deepest. Robertson would be there, which is another really stupid pass. And then you'd have Van Dijk and Canate. And what would end up happening is you'd either end up with that or it's set up like that. But what we would basically do that thing where you recycle a ball, Van Dijk into Gravenberch, it might go to McAllister, then it go back to Gravenberch, and it'd all be nice. And then it gets to Canate here with space. You draw the press out, would be going over, the team would be pushed over, you draw it all out, Canate would be there, and where Quansah is, or should I say, has the ability to play a good pass into there, or a good long ball when the defense is more compact, like so, over to there. Canate doesn't have that. Canate would take a couple touches, and in the time it's taken him to have that couple touches, everyone sort of moved over and started to cover the lanes again. So the space that you've just created by doing your nice little slow build up, the moment Canate's taken 2, 3, 4 touches, it goes away again. Because ultimately, you've not got it off quick enough. One of the big problems we had yesterday, and whilst I understand it's how Slot wants to play the game, there was a lack of pace at points in our build-up. It felt like we were just too sort of methodical and trying to score the perfect goal, almost trying to get everyone involved in the play and this, that, and the other. I feel like we are at a point where Slot's style of football and Slot's imprint on this team will come into effect as the games go on and the years go on, etc. But in this moment, in this game, it wasn't the case. We needed to be more incisive and more sort of faster paced, faster tempoed. And I feel like Quansah there, because we were doing this initial phase really well. We actually had very little problems in terms of building out from the back and getting into these positions where you put your centre backs in the spot to play the through balls and to cut through the defences. Like I said, we had no real problem doing that. It was just a case of once in that position, Canate wasn't playing the passes. Van Dijk was a little bit different because Van Dijk's got that range, and you saw it a few times with him. But on the main part, it was just an issue with Canate, and when you went up against that low block, like they set up here, where you've got all the lanes blocked off, and the players who want to receive the ball end up having to drop into spots like this, and the game's just played entirely out in front of them. That was part of the reason that we struggled. I also felt at the times that we did break them down. So like there was a couple of moments where we were in situations like this. This is the main one that I remember. Robertson was probably back there. Diaz was there. Szoboszlai was there. Salah has the ball there. It's kind of a. I think it was actually more so like that. 3v2. Jota's making the run there. He's trying to catch back up to Szoboszlai. The defender's sort of like side on like that. And Salah, all he needs to do there is just play that pass into Szoboszlai's feet. So Szoboszlai can take that touch there. And when Szoboszlai is taking that touch there, Jota's made the run to drag the defender away. He's trying to get back. He's tracked the run. But Szoboszlai, because he's got so much pace and so much power in his runs, he can get to that ball and be in a one-on-one situation. But what happened? Salah plays the pass, and it's behind Szoboszlai. The defender picks it up and we're counter-attacked again. The quality of passing for Liverpool in the final third yesterday by these three, by Szoboszlai, Salah and Trent, was so poor, it killed half the attacks. Half the time, we just weren't doing the correct thing. The other half the time, these people were making incorrect decisions and playing crap passes, and it killed the attacks. I mean, I know we had less than 1 XG, but the amount of situations that we were in, which didn't result in a shot, but were 2v2s, 3v2s, stuff that you would look at Liverpool and go, you're taking that chance, you're scoring that. And we didn't even get in the position to miss the chance. We didn't even miss the chance. People will look at it and go, well, at least we didn't miss the chances. Yeah, we didn't miss the chance because we never created the chances. Because anytime we tried to create the chances, you'd run in, the pass would be poor. The pass would be poor. It's a massive gripe I have. And another one that was weird yesterday. You ended up, whenever we tried to attack down the left-hand side, with basically this dynamic of Szoboszlai or Gravenberch, whichever one you wanted, would be in this spot here. With, of all people, Robertson making underlapping runs. Robertson sitting on the inside. Robertson's shit on the inside because Robertson doesn't have a right foot. If you're going to do that, that is how it should be. This side, these two here, Trent and Salah, they have technical quality in both players to where if you need to have it like that or you need to have it like that, both players can play that way. Andy Robertson cannot sit in this half space and control the game. He cannot sit in this half space and create. He's not an incisive passer. He's not got the greatest close control. He's not incredibly press resistant. Robertson needs to be out there and running the line. That is it. Or you go and buy a new left back. But we didn't buy a new left back, so you use Robertson. And you don't put Robertson in situations where he's sitting in the fucking in the half space trying to create. It doesn't make sense. These are just some of the mistakes that I felt that Slot made yesterday. And look, Arnie Slot is going to make mistakes. He is. It's his first season at the club. First time manager in the Premier League. These sort of things are going to happen. And I'm not sitting here now going, oh, he's been found out. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Because I have seen meltdowns like that on the timeline, and that's not how I look at it. It's not that situation. Yesterday for me was more so on individual errors. Individual errors and a worldy goal because, ironically, I felt we actually defended pretty well. Obviously, they scored the Callum Hudson-Odoi goal. I think Bradley can do a little bit better there. Canate can maybe get a little bit tighter. But for the most part, yesterday, we defended really well. It was just any time we got into an attacking situation where you'd see us like this, because Robertson's there, the build-up's so broken. And then Diaz would be dropping in there. You don't want Diaz there. Robertson there is basically just a fucking cone. You don't want him in that position. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Big ups Lehman says, I love Mo, but he should have been off, not Diaz. Crazy. I agree. To be honest, the subs who came on did not either. But I personally, the moment he was making subs, because this was just after they went to the 4-3-3. So Hudson-Odoi and Langer had come on. So they were set up like this now. I felt like the move to make was to keep Trent at right back for one. I understand now that McAllister had to go off because the fitness concerns he had after Argentina. That's fine. You just simply put Szoboszlai back there. McAllister goes off. Salah sticks on the right. Diaz stays on the left. And the only change you should have made, really, was McAllister off and Nunes on. And basically match up their back four. Because if you match up their back four, give up midfield control because they weren't building up through midfield. The moment they brought the wingers on, it was entirely set up to go down the side. And we never addressed that. So if you go man for man here, you basically either, or you can have it in a case of Jota drops off and then Nunes is covering two. But I think you'd be kind of set up like that where, you know, the centre-back who's got it is being pressed and he's got to play out. And this is where you can really sort of stifle teams if you're able to nail this. And we do sit there and say it like that. Like 100%. You sit there and look at it, and that pass could come off, and Alanga beats Robertson, and then they're in. Yes, real problem. But these are the risks you've got to take in these games. These are the risks that you've got to take as Liverpool manager in these types of situations. I just felt we didn't do enough of that. We just didn't do enough of that, unfortunately, and that's a real gripe. But yeah, I would have personally set us up in a 4-4-2 after the first set of changes. Then, if that still wasn't working, it would have been Salah off, Diaz onto the right, Gakpo onto the left, Szoboszlai off for Jones. I just don't see how this was a game for Bradley, to be honest, in terms of what we needed from in this spot. I didn't think it was a game for Bradley, and I certainly didn't think it was a game for Trent in midfield. So, mistakes like that Arne Slot was making, and the players let him down. 100% the players let him down, but I looked at those things at the time, and I don't necessarily agree with that. And obviously, it came to fruition in terms of a poor performance and a disappointing result. But yeah, a lot of individual play. I mean, if you're asking me who had good games, Van Dijk was solid. Gravenberch had another good showing. Alisson made another really good stop. That was about it. It's about where I draw the line at good games. The rest were all kind of mediocre to piss poor, and that's really disappointing to see. The reaction that I've seen on Twitter and YouTube and that has been massively over the top, if you ask me. Massively over the top. You're gonna get bumps like this on the road. I mean, Jesus Christ, we lost to Palace last year. We drew with Luton. You get results like this in a season, especially in a first season under a new manager. There's a whole other like list of arguments someone could make about why we had a poor results. First game back after international break, yada yada yada. I just look at that. It was a couple of mistakes made by the manager and a lot of individual errors and individual poor performances. The likelihood of that happening again, not very high. I'd like to think Slot learns from his mistakes. So the weird thing he done, when he took off Canate to go into a back three, which basically killed any width we had on the pitch because the fullbacks had to stay in because Van Dijk couldn't be left in a 1v3. That I didn't agree with. And that is a mistake that I don't think he makes again. But it's just stuff like that which cost us in the moments. Do I think it cost us in a season? Do I think, it's time for the meltdown that I've been seeing and Szoboszlai's this and Salah's that and Trent's this and McAllister's that and Diaz and Jota? No, it's not. We had 3 really fucking good performances to start this season off. Really fucking good performances. And now we've had a bump. We've had a bump in the road because Salah, Trent, Szoboszlai, whoever didn't turn up. The passion wasn't there. It was poor performances from a lot of the team, and we got done on the counter-attack. That happens. The good thing, we've got Milan on Tuesday. Real chance to bounce back. This is the good thing about having football constantly. You've got a chance to just play constant games to bounce back and make up if you have poor results like this. Really, really good. What's this? Dominic was terrible. His passion was awful. Chasing midfield and taking McAllister off was a big mistake. McAllister going off. Look, apparently it's to do with his fitness. Like he had some. He didn't play in Argentina's second game because of a problem that he's having, and we were wary of that, so we didn't want to, aggravate that problem further. Ultimately, we did lose a lot of control when he went off the pitch. It was a bit of an end-to-end game when he was on it anyway. Not end-to-end, but like not as controlled when he was on it. But the moment he went off, oh my God, there was no sort of tempo control. And it's ironic after an international break where people were slagging him off and doing all this. McAllister's only going to be this good and he's only got a ceiling there. And Szoboszlai's got a high ceiling and Gravenberch's got a high ceiling. Blah, blah, blah. McAllister's not world class, this, that, and the other. You watch us without him. Fucking hell, we looked ropey. We looked horrendous without him on that pitch. And that was a real problem. That was a real problem. We won't have a problem against Bournemouth because they open up. We really do need to do better against low blocks. Again, I've had this whole thing with Ryan today in messages. On another day, Liverpool leave that game with a win. On 100% on another day, Diaz's shot that hits the post and goes in. Jota gets more of a connection on the ball. On another day, all three of Trent, Salah, and Szoboszlai don't give the ball away 70 times. It was just the ultimate shitstorm landing together at the same time. In terms of breaking down low blocks is very hard. It's why they're called low blocks. It's why a lot of teams, when they go up against the good sides, use them because they are hard to break down. But the only thing that we could do better on are set pieces. Even though we always top these set piece metrics, apparently, I never see it. I do think we're constantly underwhelming off set pieces. But in terms of the overall play, the way the system set up yesterday wasn't the reason we didn't break down that low block. We had multiple 3v3s, 4v3s, 2v3s, where you're on the break and you're running at the team, and then for whatever reason you fuck up the pass or you let yourself get tackled. That's not on the system. When it comes down to breaking low blocks, the system is a part of it. But individualistic as well. It's so individualistic because you're relying on these players. You're putting impetus on these players individually. And yesterday, no one, bar Gravenberch, from the midfield upwards, had a good individual performance. Again, you ran this whole complacency thing all day, Ryan. Complacency is a dangerous thing to suggest. We are not complacent. A loss to Nottingham Forest is not complacency. We didn't play that game complacently. We played that game shitly. A complacent performance is the one you saw against Crystal Palace last season. This was not like Palace last season. This was just a game where we done everything right except the final ball. And then we lost control of the midfield when we had to take McAllister off. And Trent went into midfield, and he's not a controlling midfielder anyway. He's not someone who does that. So I wouldn't say we are complacent, and it's a complacent thing, and this, that, and the other. I think it was just, again, individual errors cost us. Individual errors and poor substitutions. They let us down. Not complacency where the players just felt like, oh, it'll come anyway, it's going to happen. No. I didn't get that idea when watching. See, now we're just going to the extreme here. Nesh, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Trent has been so important to Liverpool. I mean, we were all just waxing lyrical about him during the fucking international break for England, going on about how he got man of the match twice. Southgate should fucking swallow his words and this, that, and the other. And now, yes, he had a shit game yesterday. Doesn't mean he's shit. Doesn't mean we should sell him to Madrid. Fucking Bradley was equally as bad in a different way when he came on. Salah was horrendous. I'm not seeing you talking about selling Salah. Is there parts of Trent's game that need to be changed now that we're playing in a slot system? Yes. 100%. He needs to stop Hollywood FC constantly. There is a time and a place for it. It felt like yesterday, when it wasn't going there, Trent reverted to type. He reverted to type and he just went straight to long balls, crosses into a box. The type of passes that we don't want to play in this setup. We reverted back to it, and the team wasn't in the positions to capitalise on them. That is part of the game that needs to be altered. This idea that we should get rid of him, though, is mental. Why are we talking about getting rid of Trent Alexander-Arnold, the guy who's been one of the best players in the team for the first 3 games of the season? Get a grip, man. Get a grip. This is the overreaction I was on about. Why are we talking about this shit after? Yes, it's a bad loss. It's an annoying loss. It's not meltdown worthy. It's not season ending worthy. Unless you thought Liverpool should be winning the title this season, and it's a disgrace if they don't. There's no reason to melt down over this game. You know what I saw yesterday? I saw a team that needs way too much to go in their favour to win this league. Way too much. You need City to fall off. You need Arsenal to fall off. You need a lot to go in your way to win this league. Is that going to happen? No. But no one who I speak to on this platform expected us to win the league this season. So why now would we be reacting like this? Because you know what I saw yesterday? I saw a team that was comfortably going to make top 4. Comfortably going to get third. There is not a doubt in my mind that we will be fine this season in terms of a league finish. Not a doubt in my mind. Yesterday was not down to, Zubimendi doesn't win us that game yesterday. Martin Zubimendi does not win us that game yesterday. And that's the guy everyone wants this summer. Martin Zubimendi does not win Liverpool that game yesterday. He doesn't. So it's not on the transfer side of things because Zubimendi doesn't win that game yesterday. Unless you have found a new right winger who can step in this position and score the chances and do all this, that, and the other. No. No one before this game wanted to drop Szoboszlai, wanted to drop Salah, wanted to drop Trent. They had bad games. It happens. Everyone has bad games in a season. This constant hyperbolic reaction is mind-blowing to me. I tell you what, Salah will score 2 goals next weekend. And everyone will be like, oh, yeah, this is why Salah's great. This is why he's this. This is why he's that. Blah, 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 blah. And then everything will be shut up. Everything will be shut up. And this will be forgotten. But right now, the hyperbole about half the plays in this team is ridiculous. Can you be disappointed with the results? Yes, you can be disappointed with the results. But look at the situation with a level head. Look at the situation logically. I did not see a team yesterday that is out of ideas, that looks lost. I saw a team yesterday that had poor performances. That's it. That's it. That's it. And it actually rattles me now, watching the reaction after games from people going, oh my God, Szoboszlai shit, he's this, he's that. Trent shit, he's this, he's that. He's shit, he's this, he's that. Blah, 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 blah. And then once we play Milan, we play well against Milan, all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, this is what Szoboszlai's about, lad. Look at him doing this, look at him doing that. This is what he is. Look at Trent, this is why he's the best right back in the world. He does this, he does that. Look at the... Blah, 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 blah. Everything gets shut up and forgot about. Football is not an isolated thing. You've got to consider everything. You've got to consider everything. Honestly. Slot basically said some players need to slow down and maybe take the extra to be patient. Yeah. What it was yesterday, first half, we stuck by exactly what Slot wants us to do, which is the style of play, which is nice, intricate, short passes to try and break through lines. Second half started, and I don't know if it was an instruction by Slot or if it was just, what typically happens with Liverpool. We shit the bed because we weren't scoring on goal, and we just started lumping long balls into the box. And we started putting crosses into the box, even though there's no one there to get on the end of the crosses. And all this shit combined together at the same time ultimately meant that Liverpool started playing into Forest's hands. The moment they brought on Hudson-Odoi and Alanga, everyone knew what they were going to do. And yet we continued to give the ball away in shit positions and continue to rush things and continue to play the type of passes that leave you exposed when they don't come off. I agree. It was just a case of we reverted to type, which won't happen many more times because Slot is going to have more time to work with these players. That's the big thing. You miss a control like McAllister when he goes off. You can understand why we went for Zubimendi, but yesterday it was more about the players not doing the job. We missed McAllister when he went off. I agree, 100%. in terms of the controller, we shouldn't have needed a controller like that. It should be a case of one of Gravenberch or Szoboszlai can step up, and Gravenberch was too busy covering because we were exposed, because Robertson was underlapping and shit, and Szoboszlai was too busy beating shit on the day. So it ultimately meant that, and weirdly as well, Trent going into midfield was a problem, because Trent is not a controlling midfielder. Trent does not want, when he's in the midfield, to put his foot on the ball and see it going and take his time with it. Trent is about, especially yesterday, going at 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour. Ryan, he spoke about the players' issues in the first half against Ipswich. Was that complacency as well? No, it fucking wasn't. Get a grip. Complacency is not what you saw yesterday. Where was the complacency in the first 3 games? It wasn't fucking there. Complacency doesn't just... Complacency happens over a number of games, and you see it coming from miles away. We didn't see any complacency against Brentford or against United. Come on, man. This is the type of shit I'm on about. We're so hyperbolic. Complacency. What are we on about, man? We won fucking everything with this man at right back. And the best team on the fucking planet, Real Madrid, wants him to be their right back. But we're not a serious team of Trent at right back. Nesh, get a grip, man. What are you even saying? What are you even saying? We need Gomez at right back versus Milan. No. No, we don't. No, we don't. You don't. You don't need Joe Gomez hasn't played a game since last season. So you want to start him against Rafael Leão? No. Do you want to know something, Nesh? Do you want to know what one of the best ways to stop attacking wingers is? Play an attacking fullback and control the game. Because the winger has to track the man. Because, especially when it's Trent. Because you cannot leave Trent unmarked. You cannot let Trent drift free because of the quality of pass that he has. Playing Gomez invites Rafael Leão to go one-on-one. And Gomez hasn't played since fucking May. So you're asking him to get grilled. No, you do not. You do not drop Trent. You don't do it. I think half of yesterday, we made Nottingham Forest look like they had a good defence. They came in with a game plan for sure. But we made them look better because we gave the ball away in too many stupid spots. Way too many stupid spots where Salah was playing a stupid cross, or Szoboszlai was under-hitting the pass, or Trent rushed the pass, or fucking, even at times Robertson and Diaz were doing it. Like, we made Forest look better than they were. Nottingham Forest deserved the credit for that game. They came in with a game plan and they nailed it. But we played into their hands way too much, and that can't happen again. Control, but... Right. Nesh. 2 things. AC Milan at the San Siro are not going to park the bus. So the situation where Trent Hollywood passes constantly comes out is not going to happen because the space will be there. And also, we control games better when Trent plays. When Trent plays, Liverpool are fine. What the fuck? What? Sorry, what? What are you on about? No. I need to check something. When did fucking... Curtis Jones came on in the 75th minute. After they'd scored. After they'd scored. So the goal, he didn't even play a part in that. He didn't even play a part in that. So how can he be to blame when he wasn't even on the pitch? Come on, man. Yeah, Forest are a good. They came in there yesterday with a game plan, 100%. They nailed that. They nailed that game plan. Nailed it. We played into their hands and they smashed it. No problem with that. We just need to. We need to be better individually, and we won't let shit like that happen again. I was at the game. Legit felt like the players thought it's Forest that'll take care of itself, even as long as it's done. I thought we'll get a goal eventually. I wouldn't even say it's that, man. I'd just say the players were getting annoyed, so they didn't think it was coming. I'm watching Salah throw his fucking arms up in the air after he's fucked up a pass in the 50th minute. That's not a player who thinks, oh, it doesn't matter, it's coming. No. It's not just the last couple of months, it's been the last couple of years. There's just genuine hate for Curtis Jones in large parts of his fan base, which I don't get. Last lesson, Luton away, Atlanta at home, United at home, examples of complacency from the players. Luton away was not complacency. Luton away was players not taking their chances. Atalanta at home was not complacency. Atalanta at home was being played off the park by a system. We got battered by a system that also went on to beat Bayer Leverkusen in the final. You know, the team that never fucking lost all season before that. United at home, we had Diaz and Nunes fucking running into each other to stop themselves from scoring. That is not complacency. That is just individual errors. Individual errors are not complacency. They are not interlinked. They are not intertwined. Complacency is something that you were seeing. Remember all them years back? 1920, after we won the league? We played Burnley at home. That was a game where complacency was. And do you know what's funny, Ryan? You often win a lot of games you're complacent in. You just don't win them by enough. It wasn't complacency yesterday. You can't make me believe it's complacency. It wasn't. And you pulled up this season again. We were shit that season. You know the team that played against Forest? You do understand that was a midfield four of Carvalho, Elliott, Jones, Fabinho. Fabinho was shit. Jones was starting his first game of the season. Carvalho was barely ever playing. And Elliott was being ran into the ground at this point because he had to play every single fucking game. That season is not comparable to this one. And you've mentioned the Bournemouth game where Salah should have scored the pen. And you've mentioned the Forest game where Virgil van Dijk had 3 gilt-edged headers in the 6-yard box and missed them all. How is missing 3 gilt-edged chances from 6 yards out complacency? They're not the same. There's a clear difference. My team for Milan. I mean, I'm going to do a preview video that will be like pre-recorded tomorrow on that. But there will be a couple of changes in that team. That's more of a complacent performance. Complacency is when you draw against Villa, when you're 3-1 up and then you start playing stupid, lazy passes because you're not arsed, because the game's irrelevant. And now, so you started off on Trent, you ripped all the way into Trent, said he's shit, said we shouldn't have him. Now you're going to start on Dominic Szoboszlai, saying he's shit, he should just go into model and we bought the wrong person, we should have bought Olmo. How long until you start going on Salinesh? Please, how long until you start saying Salah shit, we should just get rid of him and buy Anthony Gordon instead? Please. Because this is what I'm on about. The overreaction is horrendous. Dominic Szoboszlai was getting all the praise and all the plaudits. All the praise and all the plaudits was Dominic Szoboszlai's in the first 3 games. Same with Trent. And then they have one bad game, and it's now the shit and the this and that. Let's be serious, man. Luton away, we were shite. Doesn't mean we're complacent. We had a bad game. Having a bad game does not mean you're complacent. We had a shit game against Arsenal last season away. We weren't complacent in that game. We were just shit. The Luton game, we were shit, and we still created all the chances. That's not complacency. You don't create the chances when you're complacent. What? You just pulled out a fucking stat out your arse there, Daryl. You've pulled a stat out your arse there. Because I can go through to... Let's have a look at... You know when we lost 4-3? We lost 4-3 to Man United, FA Cup last season. Curtis Jones didn't play. Curtis Jones wasn't in the squad, didn't come off the bench. That's a loss. So we haven't lost every match he's played in. What else have we got? And also, how are you putting yesterday's loss on him? Because he played fucking 15 minutes after we conceded. Again, let's be serious now. When we lost to lose last year away, 3-2, Europa League, Jones didn't play. But so that's another one that you can add to your list of your last 3 years. Like I said, Daryl, let's be serious. How about all them games in 22-23 where Jones didn't play because he was injured that we lost? It's not just that, man. Let's be fucking serious now. Unless you want to get rid of half the fucking team at this point. You want to get rid of half the fucking team? What are we doing here, man? What are we doing? Exactly. It's two extremes. It's one and then the other. It's taking the mick. It honestly. Exactly. We played shit. We got it by a screamer by Hudson-Odoi. It happens. Do I think Slot's going to let a performance like this happen in the next couple of weeks? No. So why would I sit here now and lose my fucking head? Why would I be saying Trent should go, Szoboszlai should go, they're all shit, this, that, and the other? Thank you. So you want to get rid of the Trents, Szoboszlai, Jones, and Diaz. Great. Anyone else? Should we chuck anyone else on that list while you're going, Nash? The team that finished third last season, won the Carabao Cup, and fucking hell, finished like 7 points off despite having half its fucking players injured for half the season, isn't actually that good. Is that what you tell me? Listen to half the shit you say before you say it. We're a good team. We are unanimously, you could ask anyone else, unanimously the third best team in this league. But we're not that good. The team's not that good. We were top with 8 games to go last season, despite all the injuries, despite all the problems. But the team's not that good. We started this season 3 wins from 3, no goals conceded, but the team's not that good. Honestly, man, I hate these fucking overreactions. They piss me off, man. Get a grip. What are you on about, Hassam? What are you on about? What are you on about? We are a club that I don't even know what you. I don't even know, man. I don't even know what you're trying to say there. Big up yourself. I don't get it. I don't mind Diaz. Diaz's one was fine. Diaz, the angle actually opened up. It was the smart decision to put it near post because that sells their keeper had overcommitted. On the Salah one, Salah does that. Salah, especially when we're chasing the game, is pushing forward. I mean, I was gonna do a preview video tomorrow, but I'll spoil my team thing here. You want to fix the problem against AC Milan? You play the exact same team again, but you just change how Robertson plays. Don't let Robertson fucking invert. Why would Robertson invert? It's fucking stupid. Robertson inverting is the most brain dead thing you can do. You tell Robertson, go hug touchline, and you let Diaz inside. If you want to make changes, you put Nunes on for Jota and try and push them back further. And to be fair, AC Milan's a game for Canati. And it would have been a game for Harvey Elliott if he wasn't injured. The only other change that I could see us doing is McAllister onto the bench and Jones plays. And I don't necessarily think that's the It's the greatest move. So, me personally, the only change that I would make if I had to make one was put Nunes in for Jota. I can't, even though I'd like to see Gakpo get minutes, I don't think Milan is the game for Gakpo. I think Bournemouth is more of a game for Gakpo. Tomorrow or Tuesday, whenever it is, that's definitely a game for Canate. And we're going to talk about it tomorrow, Hassan, because we said we were going to come and we were going to sit down, we were going to talk about who was correct with the whole Quansah or Canate thing, and we'll talk tomorrow, Hassan. We will talk tomorrow. I'm not even gonna engage with it anymore, Daryl. You're taking them piss seriously. I'm not even gonna engage with it. Soboslai in the ace that Ron McAllister plays isn't exactly the worst idea in the world. The only problem is I feel like again it comes down to the fact that if I've got McAllister and Soboslai there, I'd just play Soboslai further forward. But Elliot getting injured when he has done has really fucked it. What I could see, and I don't know how likely he is to do it. Gakpo is the 10. I do think that there is a world where Slot looks at playing Gakpo as the 10 in the system. That's kind of what I'm looking at, because he's got the quality on the ball to do that, and the way he drives forward, how good he is at progressing the ball forward dribbling wise. I do think that that's something that could be explored. When I say 10, I mean, you know how like it's. I'll pull up my tactics board again. Yeah, there it is. So where is here. So what I'm on about here is you'd have McAllister here, and then you'd have Gakpo here, and you would defend like this, and then in build up, Gakpo would drop in to pick up the ball off Gravenberch, and then just turn and drive. It would effectively be a 4-4-2. You'd have Salah off the right, Diaz there, and you'd kind of almost basically just put Jota in that spot and give Salah all the reign there. And then you're basically running Gakpo and Salah as two creators, with Gakpo like just dropping off to pick up the ball and then turning and driving with it and either playing the pass through or having the shot. That's kind of the way you need to look at. But yeah, that's the only the way. Obviously, Elliot is who you'd want to see because he's got that quality on the ball, but he's out injured for the next 2 months. So if you need to play someone in that spot, I do. It could also be a Chiesa move, but I just think Chiesa at this point just needs to stay on the wings. So Gakpo dropping in and being that link-up 10. I feel like people underestimate his quality on the ball. What else have we got here? I lost where I were. Following players need to go in January. Jones to Fulham, Nunes to Las Palmas, Trent go back to the academy and learn defending, and Diaz go back to school and get some IQ. Shut the fuck up. Is Gakpo going to make defense splitting passes behave? Yes. That's what he done in the fucking Euros. That's what he done at PSV. It's what he done for us to end the season. Gakpo can do that. Gakpo is one of the better attackers we've got on the ball and making passes. The issue is we've not seen Gakpo do that for us because he was never in the situation to do it. Remember when he came in and everyone was fucking waxing lyrical about him when he was the false 9? Because guess what? He was doing exactly what you're asking. And then we reverted back to type. Gakpo can do that. It's bollocks. It's bollocks. It's just people trying to look for people to fucking pin blame on and shit. I just don't see it. But I've always defended Curtis Jones when others haven't. I'd like to be fairly, and this is a good point, I'd like to see Morton more. I feel like when you're losing McAllister yesterday and you're losing that tempo control in the midfield, that's what Tyler Morton was raved about in the Championship. Now, is it? Do I want to be sitting here and going, oh my God, Tyler Morton should be saving games for us? No. But that's the situation that we're in. Should we be in the situation? No. He's the bought a DM. And that's blatantly obvious. Blatantly obvious. But right now, I can't buy someone. So I've got to look at in-house solutions. The in-house solution is play Tyler Morton because this is what he did at Hull. Now, is it going to translate as well to the Premier League? Who knows? We don't know much about Tyler Morton in the Premier League because he hasn't played much in the Premier League. We need to see it first. The issue Gakpo has is no fault of his own. He never gets a string of games, fine momentum. Gakpo last year was a victim of the fact that he's versatile, so he just got chucked everywhere. And then the only time he got an extended run of the team in one position was the end of the season when he was our best forward. This year, he's just been unlucky that Diaz has started the season really well, and he's not a striker. And I actually agree with Slot not playing him up front. Gakpo should be waiting to come off the left. Yesterday, he wasn't great when he came on. I don't think anyone was good when they came on. One game, and now top four is in doubt, people. One game, and top four is now in doubt. What are we doing, man? Come on. Let's be serious now, man. Let's be serious. You know what? The part that I don't agree with here is Jota getting dropped. Jota getting dropped makes no sense to me because you're putting in Nunes, who is even worse. You're putting in Nunes, who's even worse at everything. Jota, yesterday wasn't great, but I don't think he was allowed to be great because he wasn't involved in the game much because everything went down the wings. And then when we started really crossing it, he wasn't even on the fucking pitch. But Jota's so smart IQ-wise, makes the correct runs, has the link up. He was the best attacker yesterday. I'd say it's tight between him and Diaz. I give the edge to Jota as the best attacker yesterday. It's not great, but he was the best attacker yesterday. I just don't see why we drop him. I really don't. He's played. He barely comes on though. Right, Velv, this is the point. As a sub, you're either going to get a really fucking good performance or a really shit one. Now, Gakpo yesterday, whether you want to say it's lucky or something, everyone else who came on was shit. So we didn't stand out as being shit. Gakpo needs a run of games to start and get going. Diaz in the first game was shit against Ipswich. And I was calling for him to not play the next couple of games. He played the next couple of games and he was really good because he got a run of games. Same thing needs to happen with Gakpo. When it happens, when it is happening, that's what needs to happen. I don't ever want to see Diaz up front. I'll be honest. I don't ever want to see Diaz ending up in the 9. That's even fucking worse. Yes, last season we played pace and power plays because we needed pace and power because we played a pace and power system. This year, guess what? You still need that pace and power because every single fucking team in world football needs pace and power, especially in the midfield. Do you want to know why we've looked a lot weaker defensively? It's because we still have pace and power in midfield and we're defending the transitions better. You know, if you took out our entire midfield and put in slow players, we'd look worse. We'd look worse because we just get done on the counter. You do need pace and power. But yeah, people, I'm gonna call it there. I've went for 55 minutes. This is only supposed to be like half an hour, but certain people, and you know who you are in the comments. Certain people have said some horrendous things today, which had to be addressed. So I've got a plan in my mind now for regular content. I'm hoping to do 4 to 5 pieces of content a week, 2 live streams, 2 to 3 pre-recorded videos. That's what we're going to see on this channel. I'm going to try and push up with the consistency. Your support is massively appreciated as always. I'll be live. I've got a long day tomorrow in terms of streams. My pre-recorded AC Milan preview will be up at around about 12. That's going to be the time that I'm aiming for to do streams and video uploads about midday. So you'll have that at 12. Then I'm live with Mo with the Rational League at 3. Then I'm live with Hassam at 4:30. Then I'm live on the Terrace at 6 for the top 6 show. So it's a lot of content with me tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to call it there, people. If you're new already, if you're new here and you've not already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more content. The support means everything to me. Love yous, leave yous in a bit.